But yeah, so we'll go through that process, and we'll just kind of have like an organic discussion and see where it goes. And I'll try to monitor the YouTube and Facebook and ask questions that people may have. So great. Well, everybody, it's 8 o'clock. It's 8 p.m. There's 3 of us here. I know we've got several other joining this party, but I just wanted to thank everybody here that's watching us, for after our premiere episode. Hey, Tony, what's going on? Look at that beard. Woo! We're going to let Tony figure this out real quick. But yeah, just wanted to thank everybody for stopping by, for watching the show. Wanted to thank Mindy and Tony here for being a part of our first kind of live talkback. This is the first time we've done this, so we're obviously trying to work out whatever kinks, if there's any kinks. Hopefully there's no kinks at all. But when you've got this many cool people in one little room here, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So again, thank you for everybody. Thank you for coming to the live host party here. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to the Wisconsin Foodie Underwriters, because without them, none of this would be possible. So they are super important, and one is very, very vital to the show that just aired tonight. But our underwriters are the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin, Organic Valley, New Glarus Brewing, The Conscious Carnivore, Something Special from Wisconsin, Central Wisconsin Craft Collective, who I've had just an incredible time working with, Melissa Sable over there. She has done such a fantastic job for promoting that part of Wisconsin, and I can't say enough about her. She is just fantastic, doing really good things. Crossroads Collective here in Milwaukee, Viroqua Food Co-op, J. Henry Bourbon, Rutabaga Paddle Sports, and Friends of PBS Wisconsin. So those are the fine folks that makes Wisconsin Foodie happen. So thank you. All right, everybody. So the first episode of Wisconsin Foodie is in the books. We traveled to Stevens Point, Wisconsin. You could say, right? Not quite Stevens Point, a little outside and a little around. But we went to visit Mindy and Lane, who we've got here from Siren Shrubs, as well as Tony and the Whitefeather family over at Whitefeather Organics, and it was just a fantastic time. We really enjoyed ourselves. After seeing the episode, what did you guys, Siren? I'll start with you guys. What did you guys think? Mindy, you were here.
Go ahead, Lane.
Oh, I felt like the interweaving that you guys did just of our storylines between Siren and Whitefeather, and really telling the story of the community that we have around central Wisconsin, and then the connection to these products, but that they're really based in the relationships we have with one another. So it was so well done. So thank you for that.
For me, there was a moment where I was like, there are so many people I love in every scene. And so you did such a lovely job of just showing the best parts of our community and why it is just the greatest place in the world to live.
Yeah, and I should say too, a little bit background on that the episode. I think the reason the first reason we came up there was Ruby Coffee, and when we put together the episode, there was so much good content with Ruby, with Siren, and with Whitefeather, that it just didn't fit all in one episode. So we decided to section out Ruby Coffee, and that'll be its own episode later on in the season. So there'll be more love for the Stevens Point area. Let me just go around and introduce everybody real quick. I forgot to do that at the top. So my name is Arthur Ursink. I'm executive producer of Wisconsin Foodie. We've got Luke Zahm, host of Wisconsin Foodie. Then we've got Mindy McCord. Mindy McCord, is that how you say it? Mindy McCord from Siren. Yep. Then we've got Lane. Sorry, Lane. How do you pronounce your last name?
Lane Cozzolino.
Lane Cozzolino from Siren, as well as Tony Whitefeather from Whitefeather Organics. Hi, Tony.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Sure can.
All right.
What'd you think of your big debut there?
Wow, you all did an awesome job, and it was warming to see your faces again. And yeah, it was, and especially being such a dark winter for a farmer, to see all that bright produce and the future coming was very invigorating to the now freezing temperatures. So
How did you think we did with the basil scene? Because I know we talked about you guys getting basil from the farm, and we had to do a little video movie magic there where you were just planting the basil, and we made it seem like we left with a bushel of basil. Thought that was pretty interesting. Did you guys pick up on that at all, or did you forget all about that whole scene?
I definitely remembered it. I actually wondered how that was going to go. And I thought it was seamless, like really, if anyone was paying attention, you could see we were just planting, but the way you spliced us in coming out of the field and everything there, I thought, well done.
Totally well done. I agree. It was seamless.
That was cool. So I know, everybody's not here to listen to me. They're most people are here to listen to Mr. Luke Zahm here. So Luke, now you don't really get an opportunity to watch, sometimes when we're together, I'll let you see a little rough cut, but you typically don't get to see the shows before they air on TV. It's usually, usually me or Nelson that are, the other editor that are putting these shows together and then handing them to PBS. But we like to have you watch them just, for the first time on TV as well. What did you think?
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, it's beautiful. I think as part of like one of the ramp ups to this year's season, I've been doing more writing, and it's really good for me because it's great therapy. But I go back on my camera and like I revisit all these photos that I have from the shoots, and like a lot of times when they're shooting scenes and you see Lane and Mindy and Tony off in a field together, that leaves me to my own devices completely. And so I have these perspective shots of the scenes being filmed and coming together. And it's for no other reason than I think that the subject matter is fascinating. I think it's beautiful. I'm always impressed when I get to turn on the television or on my computer and see all this come together. Because for me, it's a tremendous exercise in trust. As a chef, I tend to be a little bit of a micromanager. I want to control not only like the aspects of a dining experience. I want to make sure the food is really great and perfect, but I want the entire experience to be something that resonates. So to completely like submit to the universe, to be in these scenes, to be in these moments, and to just let go and see the magic that you and Nelson and the folks at PBS do to weave it together to make it beautiful and coherent and make all of us sound and look so good. I'm always just kind of floored. And I'm so thankful because if it went the other way, man, I don't know. I mean, I'm a pretty frail guy. But no, it's always awesome. And this one in particular, like the experience of camping at Whitefeather, first and foremost, was gorgeous. Tony and Laura were kind enough to let us post up on the back 40, quote unquote. And so being able to be there and interact with their family, with the farm dogs, with the people who are kind of coming in and out to do the CSA work, that was, an amazing experience in and of itself. And then when you actually get to the nitty gritty of filming, like all the wonderful people around the Stevens Point area have always been so gracious with their time and their energy and their stories. So it makes coming in and setting these little snippets up a dream.
Yeah, that's one thing too that we don't share as much, is that when we do these shows, we travel and we typically camp, whether it be on a beautiful farm like Tony's or in somebody's driveway. We have a couple tents. One of us sleeps in a van. A couple sleep in a tent. And Luke has a really fancy trailer that he gets to cart around. That's But hey, you're the star, baby. You gotta.
I say.
No, we all try to snuggle up with Luke as well. So but we enjoy it. I mean, it's honestly the best part of these trips is just really being immersive in the experience, being a part of the farm for those couple days that we're there. When we set out to do this episode, we had no idea that we were going to do pizza on the farm. I mean, it's really organic. The process of us filming is super organic and sometimes can be a little frustrating for our subjects because sometimes they're getting a call like a couple days before we show up, and then we're just kind of, you know, stitching things together on the site, and it's like, oh hey, that's a really cool looking pizza oven. Do you think we could do pizza on the farm tonight? And it was like, yeah, definitely. And I, you know, there's nothing better for when we produce shows than when people are just open and willing to do, to just be open to the experience and to try new things. And that's what makes really good TV. And that's what made this experience really fantastic, is everybody was so open and willing to do whatever, you know, I don't want to say whatever we wanted, but so open and willing to tell the story. And that was fantastic. So kudos to all of you for being willing, as much as it could be stressful. But I don't think it was too stressful, right?
No.
And Lane, I'm sorry to hear your dog passed away, but I'm glad we got a nice little cameo in the show, right?
Yeah, amazing. Because Addie Dog, when I moved up here from Milwaukee, and I ended up living with or on Tony and Laura's farm for a summer, and Addie Dog was there with me. And so we lost her a month after filming, and so it was really lovely to see her and have her be in an episode. So thank you.
Yeah, remember when she got lost and nobody could find her?
Because she was deaf.
What?
Oh.
So we were just calling
and
and calling and calling and calling, and she wasn't answering.
Oh, she's like the slowest dog too. It's like, how the heck
How could she have gotten lost and nobody could find her? Yeah. Oh yeah. Pretty cool.
I want to make one quick note for the people that may be watching. In Milwaukee, the show doesn't air till 9:30. So on Wisconsin Public Television, the show airs 7:30, and in Milwaukee it plays at 9:30. Unfortunately, they're not synced up. So the folks that are watching now in Milwaukee are getting a little bit of a pre-party show. They're getting a little insider into the show that they're going to get to watch in the next hour 15. But the other thing is, they can go to YouTube right now and watch the show right now. I usually try to make those shows live at 7 o'clock. So anybody that subscribes to our YouTube channel, which is just youtube.com/Wisconsin Foodie, go there, subscribe, and you can watch these shows at 7 o'clock. One question that I do see here is for Tony. Tony, what do you do during the winter? What do your winters look like?
Oh, well, we do, you can see we do grow greens year round as well, but it's a time to reflect. We get our seed orders in, we go through equipment, we powwow with some of our long-term employees about how we can be a little better and efficient, and rest as much as we can. Yeah, reflect a bit. So we do stay busy, but we do pare down our crew less than half. So yep.
It's funny, there's another question in here, and I've been wondering this question this whole time, you know, since editing this film, or this episode. There was several different pizza sauces, and one was a little more barbecue sauce, like an orange, or like an orange color. Can you just let us know what the different sauces were? I don't know if you know, was that a tomato sauce? What was that? It was the third pizza we made. I think there was like an aioli, there was a tomato sauce, but then there was something that was a little just different colored.
Oh boy, I don't know. That's tough. I've had several pizza nights since then, but I don't know. It could have been. Was it not just a normal tomato sauce? Because we do mix like orange tomatoes with some of our reds, but it's hard to say. I might have done.
Luke, do you remember? I think I asked you that at one point because I was curious, but do you remember?
Yeah, it was a fresh tomato sauce. And for those of you who weren't at the Whitefeather Pizza Party, that you can't get like a better essence of summertime than all of those wonderful vegetables that have been grown right there. Not traveling farther than 100 yards from the fields they came out of. They just pop. It takes so little manipulation to make them just sing. So what you saw there was like a really, really bright tomato sauce, and it was as good as it looked.
Yeah, what do you think? Will you have us back out this year for Pizza on the Farm?
I'd love it. It'd be great. I mean, I feel like I made some friends and some new friends, and I really appreciate you sharing, Lane reaching out to us and helping Central Wisconsin pop for a little bit here. That was great.
So much good going on in that part of the state. Wouldn't you say, Luke?
Oh man, it is. Stevens Point. Maybe it's not going to be a sleeper for much longer. I hope that it is, though. I would say like it is my favorite, one of my favorites, top 5 places in all of Wisconsin. And for a person like me who needs wild spaces to be able to reset, to rejuvenate, Stevens Point offers that. It's got a good food scene that is actually finding ways to like grow and reinvent itself and continue on. I mean, if it's Chef C Stuff's downtown or like Dosarak, which is a banging Korean joint in Stevens Point, or farms like Whitefeather, the Stevens Point Food Cooperative, or Farm Shed. There's all these little unique things there that are constantly expanding and growing. And I think the fact that there's the university there, you kind of have this vitality of young energy that brings people in. And, I think that the one of my favorite parts about it, honestly, is it's just got a vibe. Hanging out with Anello, the owner of Central Waters, or one of the owners of Central Waters, and talking about the art that's downtown and how, really, really intentional that is, and the music in the park in the summertime. And Tony, actually, I was hiking in Wyoming, and not long after we filmed, I had taken a short break during the summer, and I was on this really back country place, and it's called the Tongue River Canyon. And my family and I got done with a day of hiking that ended with a swim, and it was really, really idyllic. And here comes this dude with the ponytail and a baseball cap on, and he's like, "You're Luke, and I'm from Stevens Point." And it just happened to be Adam Gruel from Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. So like the local town talent, I was like, "Oh, pizza party with you at Whitefeather Organics, but you didn't show," and it was really beautiful. We've since then like rekindled this friendship, which is great. But like, it is a very small world, and Stevens Point seems to have all these points of light that radiate from it into the greater rest of the world, and I'm so thankful to be there.
Yeah, fantastic. That's great.
Wow.
I was going to say, so what? So everybody kind of wants to know that, and then we'll jump over to questions for Mindy and Lane here in a second. But how do people find out about pizza night? And maybe we could corner the market and not do like, maybe Wisconsin Foodie could have like the first pizza night out there, just because we've got a lot of people here that want to do pizza night on the farm. So I'll tell people. But how do people find out about the events and the things that you do on the farm and your CSA and everything?
Well, definitely our website or our social media. We're gonna have a lot on there. We do have some pizza plans on the farm this summer. We're also building our house, so we're putting a lot of focus in that. I know we've been out here 15 years, but we built farm infrastructure before our own house, so we're really putting a lot of energy towards that now. So that's kind of taking priority for us, doing a full-fledged pizza summer, but keep an eye out and we'll have some pop-ups for you. So
that's fantastic.
Thanks.
Thank you, Tony.
Can I come?
Please, brother. Yeah.
Might have to build the house though, so I know how much you like building things. So the way we found out about Whitefeather is really through Lane. So Lane, you've had experience with Whitefeather. Can you just give a little bit of your background on Whitefeather and how you discovered Tony and his family?
Yeah, and I'll try to be brief because I feel like there's a lot to say there. But I moved up to Stevens Point to go to grad school from Milwaukee, and didn't know anybody, didn't know this community at all. Thought I'd come for the program and leave. And I wrote to all the organic farms in the Farm Fresh Atlas. I sent them all emails telling them that I wanted an internship on a farm because I was changing my career to focus on community food systems. And I think only two farmers ever replied, and one was like, thanks, no thanks, good luck. And the other was Tony, and his intern was leaving, and he asked that I come and meet him and Laura, and he was timber framing his barn at the time. And I came with my dog and met Tony and Laura, and immediately had a kinship with them. And that was 12 years ago. So it's been kind of ever since, and my career changed, and I worked for a nonprofit called Farm Shed, which Luke mentioned, for 8.5 years, which Farm Shed works to grow the local food economy here in central Wisconsin. And Tony and I got to be close in that work too. And then when Mindy and I started the shrub company, it was like, came full circle. Like now we have a product that we get to buy things from farms, and, Tony's always up for anything. So it was like, and basil, which he could maybe speak more to, but he's always had dreams of growing basil in bulk. So it kind of came to be a really natural connection in that way. And we just, I think Tony and I just always have had a really good working relationship too. And so it's fun to throw ideas at each other and see what happens.
Yeah. How did you and Mindy meet? Mindy, how'd you guys meet?
Sure. Yeah, we met. We both worked at a place called Emmy J's in Stevens Point, which is a coffee shop and at the time / restaurant. And Lane worked on the restaurant side, and I managed the coffee shop side. And then our friendship kind of just fostered around cooking, canning, fermenting things, and it went from there. And now here we are.
That's fantastic. So since we filmed with you, I think it was last July, last August, somewhere last summer, it all kind of melts together. But how's business? What's new with Siren Shrubs? You got anything fun planned for 2022?
Yeah, we've got lots of fun things planned. We've started doing bi-monthly collaborations with different folks. We've released a honey plum shrub with Farm Shed. When was that, Lane? November?
Mm-hmm.
In November. And then we will do another one this February. And the proceeds for these collaborations go to an organization or people that we want to support or businesses we want to support. And we're super excited to release all kinds of new things and keep things fresh and exciting for our client base. What else is new? I am full-time with Shrubs now, so that's super exciting. I left my day job in September, so that was a really big deal. What else am I forgetting, Lane?
So we're in a new location. So we now are in Stevens Point. Ruby was a host to us for 2 years. I'm sorry. Yeah, for 2 years, pandemic. I'm like, what happened? For 2 years in Nelsonville, and now we've moved into Point. So we have a location there that's larger that we actually are now housed with tap maple syrup. And you guys know Jeremy and Abby. And so that's a cool, another cool connection. And so, yeah, and these limited releases we're excited about because they're only going to be available online. It's just small runs that we make ourselves. So we don't work with Wisconsin Innovation Kitchen on those. We do them in the Farm Shed kitchen. And so it's like they're here and gone. And so we're really excited about those.
So when we did that recipe, we did it at your house, right? In your home kitchen. And when I was putting the show together, I was like, well, people are going to think that this is where they make all their shrub, and you don't make your shrub in that all your shrub in that kitchen. You did it at one point, but not anymore. Is that right?
Yeah, that's totally correct. So at the very beginning, we did them in our home kitchens and sold them at the farmers market, or sampled them, I should even say, at the farmers market. And very early on, we decided we wanted to spend our time getting the word out, because as you all know, shrub is very people are like, what is that? What is a shrub? And so we knew we needed to put a lot of energy into that. So we work with Wisconsin Innovation Kitchen from Mineral Point, Wisconsin, to co-pack for us. And then we do experiments still in our home kitchens. So they start in our home kitchens, but they progress to scale at Wisconsin Innovation Kitchen.
And the kitchen we filmed in is right here, your left there, Lane?
It's in front of me is my kitchen. Yeah.
It's right in front of you is the kitchen.
You sat here. Yeah, you were sitting here, Arthur. The cameramen were here. I'm staring in the kitchen. Yeah.
That's awesome. The kitchen's famous now.
Right. And we had just redone that kitchen like 2 months before you guys came, so good timing.
I see a comment here by Jim Chapman. He's talking about cold brew coffee shrub. Is that a thing? Do you guys is cold brew coffee shrub a thing?
Tell Jim, yes, it could be, and it's definitely in the works.
Definitely in the works. I like it. Interesting. Very cool. So, watching that episode, how do you and then being a part of the production, talk about that experience of being a part of it and then watching it on TV. I know we had several takes. I mean, we had several takes, I think, of Luke just going to the door. I mean, there was one take, I don't know if it made the outtakes, but I don't know if you guys remember that scene where like Luke comes to the door, but he's just standing there for like an obscene amount of time and nobody's answering the door. Did that make the outtakes? I forgot, but that was one of the funnier parts of that show, is like just like those little things, those little quirks and nuances where things take so long to do, but on TV it's just super fast and fluid.
So just like we discovered my dog was deaf, we discovered my doorbell doesn't work. So yeah. So those are funny things.
Yeah, that was great. It was really nice to have Arthur, okay, walk to the door, walk like this, get up there, push the doorbell, and then look, do the handshake, all that stuff, and to just be left hanging at the door, thinking like, man, this is not.
Yeah, look, I'm just so mean to you. I apologize.
All right.
Hey, what's up? just trying to get around the house here. Part of the show.
Yeah, I'm sorry. As far as the other pieces, I mean, it was just, it is fun to see how TV actually works. Cause yeah, you tape things at totally different times and then how it transitions in the show and how you put it together is yeah. I mean, even, yeah, just little pieces that you think back, or you think like, oh, that didn't go in, I wonder why, or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah.
Or you put in things that, make us look good. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's the whole goal, is to make everybody look good at all times, But the one of the trickier parts for the show editing wise was the recipe in the kitchen, because we did them, it's such, we did the cherry, we did parts of the cherry, then we went to the basil, then we went back to the cherry. So to make that all fit was complicated, because there'd be things on the table out of place, so we had to really navigate different camera angles and make sure we cut things out, and potentially we would have just done one recipe to make the show a little bit more, to rearrange the show and make it a little bit, we would have, quicker, but, with those recipes, there was always something else from the other recipe in the shot. So we had to do both recipes. So as a producer, as an editor, I learned that if we do that again, we have to do one full recipe and then stop and then do the next recipe, just for editing's sake.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was fun. I thought both those recipes were fantastic, and you sent home the crew and everybody with all that shrub. So we've been drinking shrub for the last 6 months. We've been living off shrub. Yeah. So we also have to pick. At some point tonight we have to pick a winner. I know we got a lot of tons of email, tons of comments on our Instagram page. So we'll have to go through that. I don't know the best way to do that. We'll have to figure out a way to pick one winner out of all of those people to get the Whitefeather Organics t-shirt, which is going to be pretty sweet. A bottle of the shrub and your cookbook. Is that a cocktail cookbook? Can you tell me a little bit more about, was it Creating Spaces?
Yeah, it's called Creating Space, and it is a brand new thing that we released over the holidays. And it is a recipe book that has 30 plus recipes in it. And it is based on our shrubs, obviously, but it also is spirit optional. So the whole book can have a spirit included in it or not. And it can be used with any of our shrub flavors. So it's just a really nice tool for people that are not familiar with shrubs to kind of navigate all the possibilities with their bottle of shrub. And Arthur, I did put a winner into our random generator before this live, so I can announce it if you would.
Oh my God, that's
I figured
amazing.
it all out. I did the work.
Oh wow, very
so
cool.
The generator
I don't know.
told me, look at what I made too. This is construction paper from my children. Oh, I can't even get it in my camera. Maddie Gould, if I'm pronouncing that right, is
Cool,
the
that's the
winner
winner. Heck yeah.
of the giveaway. But I'll make sure I DM her, and congratulations.
Congratulations, Maddie Gould. Wow, that's fantastic. Luke, you've been so quiet over here. I feel like, you know, the people want to hear from you, Luke. What's going on, man? What's new? What'd you think of the show? Any thoughts?
You know, again, I think that Stevens Point is such a fun place to be and be around. I loved it. I do have a question for Lane. You know, Lane, one of the things that I remember about taping in your house, and this is I don't mean anything like to take anything away from anybody, but I asked during the taping for a drink of water, and we had to pull from water that we purchased at the store. And I couldn't believe that in beautiful little Nelsonville, right on the banks of the Tomorrow River, that the water was not deemed safe to drink at that point in time. How is that?
Yeah, so we live on the Tomorrow River, and we have really high nitrates in our water, and we have a small child, and so we bring water in. We could put in an RO system. Actually, when we first moved in, I put in a system that ended up being kind of a scam system, so we ended up pulling it out, and now my husband actually fills water at work now and brings it home until we get that figured out on a more public basis, or on a more regular basis. But yeah, it is an unfortunate thing that our water isn't the best to drink.
And I have to say that as we travel all over the state, and as we, you know, even beyond the state, like as we travel all over the Midwest or all over the United States, water is one of these commodities that I think we have the ability to take for granted in the upper Midwest because we have so much of it. We look outside and it's everywhere. It's in our ponds, it's in our lakes, it's in our rivers, it's in the Great Lakes. We have this abundance of water. But the thing that I'm learning as I travel is that water is maybe our most precious commodity. And as different parts of the United States continue to dry up and dry out, they are going to need to come here. And I think that is a way that we can all maybe find our community and a little bit of togetherness is through that water. It ties us all together. And I have to say that I was in some pretty high level meetings over the course of this last year. And I was actually using the experience in your home as this story that really drove home how important and impactful it is to keep those waterways clean and keep that watershed thriving, because you know, it's so vital for what we do. People in the Midwest. My mom is actually texting me right now telling me that my new tattoo is not her favorite choice. Oh man, it never ends. It's like
No.
like, oh, well, your new tattoo. I wouldn't have chosen it, but it looks you. It's you. It's like when you dyed your hair blonde or when you shaved your head. Like, oh god.
Can you take a moment to show everybody your tattoo, please? Can you know? I think that now the people want to see the tattoo.
This is what we do in the off season. Do I look fierce? What do you think, Tony? Do you have any tattoos, Tony?
Very few. Yeah.
How does your mom feel about them?
Yeah, I'm gearing up. I'm getting ready. I got a story to write on me.
Nice. Hey, I gotta say, Tony, we were actually in Sturgeon Bay, and we were taping this really short segment at Kenara, which you know, I hope it makes the Door County episode. I haven't seen it, obviously, so like I can't tell you if it did or not. But we were at this really amazing little Indian restaurant right in a mobile station, which if you haven't been downtown Sturgeon Bay, I would strongly suggest. And a woman came up to me during the taping, which was all of like maybe a half an hour, and she's like, "You met my son, you know my son." And I'm like, I know your son. Who's your son? And it was your mom. It was so great. It was so sweet.
That's great.
It was great.
Wow.
This guy, you're famous. Like everywhere I go, It's like 6 degrees of separation to Tony Whitefeather. It's amazing.
Wow.
Well,
How's the
maybe
CSA going so far, Tony? Are you taking signups for the CSA? Are you full, or what's the status on your CSA?
Yeah, well, I will say, yeah, it's been really good. We launched, was it over a week ago, and our spring, which is fairly limited, sold out in 24 hours, and we were amazed. And our summer shares are about half sold out, and same with our fall. So things are doing really well that way. So we went to custom boxes, which I think the people really enjoy. So yeah,
That's super cool. The people that are watching right now that might not know what a CSA is, could you just kind of describe the program a little bit?
yeah, community supported agriculture. Essentially, it has long roots in Asia for like protecting farmland. And the idea is that you pay ahead of time or a certain amount, or in our case, we have several options to do that. And it helps us procure seed and plan for the year. And actually, our farm wouldn't be here without the CSA model. I'll say that. And then we commit to you through the growing season with a diverse mix of vegetables. Yeah, so it's kind of the
Right.
gist.
I mean, there's a program that I've been following throughout the years. I think it's fantastic, but I think in the past, maybe in the past, like, let's say 10 years, the model has really kind of struggled a little bit. It's seen its highs and it's seen its lows, and before the pandemic, I felt like it was getting low, like people were kind of getting away from that model. But since the pandemic, we've seen people just flooding back to this the CSA the CSA model, and I think that's just fantastic for farmers. You hate to say anything good's come out of the pandemic, but I think one of these is something people are more conscious about the food they're eating and connecting with local farmers. If I guess if it takes a pandemic to get there, so be it. But I think that's been a fantastic sort of discovery in the last 2 years. So kudos to that. That's great. So you're tapped out. You've got no more room for CSAs at this point.
Just in our spring, we're about halfway on our summer. We've divided it into 3 seasons, just so that people that have gardens can jump in and out where they'd like. So we have a spring season, a summer, and a fall. Our summer and fall have some room yet. So if there's some people in our area that are looking, we can feed some more tables.
What's your radius?
We're right around, I guess, 50 to 60 mile radius currently. Yeah, we have had people drive from some kind of, I guess you could almost say, CSA food deserts up towards some of the towns we're closer to. So, but we've really tried to keep it close to where we're at. And when CSA was not quite enough for our farm to get by for Laura and I to be full time, we just put our foot in other doors. We got really active in our local restaurants. It seems like that's where a lot of people are spending their money pre-pandemic, and built a lot of those relationships up. We have about 15 different restaurants we work with now, and then more wholesale aggregating for people. And this Siren Shrubs has been a great way to keep the farm afloat too, selling to artisan crafts like that. And by the way, Lane, I have to say and Mindy, that apple crisp is really good. I've been sipping on that for the last week here.
Ooh, is that a new flavor, apple crisp?
So Honey Crisp.
Or Honey Crisp, sorry.
Yeah. And we released that in October, Mins?
Yep.
October, yeah. And that's with a farm over in Eau Claire who actually also has ties to the central Wisconsin. I think she grew up in Iowa or Scandinavia, and she is at the Glass Orchard, and they have a farm and glass blowing studio in Eau Claire.
Sounds like a Wisconsin Foodie episode.
That's
future.
right.
Mark that one down. Yes.
Watch Luke start the van on fire, blowing glass.
Interested in glass blowing.
Just to remind people that if you're watching us on Facebook, we're looking at the comments. So if you have any questions for Mindy, Tony, Lane, Luke, myself, please jot them down there. It's been fun watching this conversation. I know we've had a a good sustained people watching this. So thank you for being with us right now. And this is great. This is what I love. I mean, my favorite part about the show is really behind the scenes, is making the show. Everything that goes on around, like behind and around the show. I wish we could make that into the show, because those are so many, like, such good times that we have. Whether it's trying to sleep on a farm after a shoot, or just the whole production of the thing is always a good time. So I wish more people could see that, but I think if this gives them a glimpse into that world a little bit, then that's great. So just kind of talking about the connection between farmers and food producers. Tony, Lane, Mindy, I want to call you Lindy. If I could just kind of call you both Lindy, just to condense this a little bit.
We would be offended.
Will you connect in the off season and kind of go, like, maybe talk to Tony, see what types of things he's growing, or will you say, we'd love to try this type of thing? Will you grow this for us? What kind of connection do you guys have to the farmers, where you can kind of inspire them or get them to grow things for you?
Honestly, I think a lot of our flavors come from the farmers, where we get a phone call and they say, hey, we're growing a bunch of this, or we've got an excess of this. What do you think? Could that become a shrub? And would you agree, Lane, that oftentimes these flavors come from the farmer partner's suggestions?
Yeah, and I mean, even so, this episode was about the basil Tony grows for us, but Tony also grows lemongrass and came to us with lemongrass and was like, what do you think about this for a shrub? And that ended up being one that we released last year, and now just brought back again in the fall. And so it's one of our flavors available right now. And so, yeah, I mean, I think what's really cool too is, after being in the food system work, all of us for a while, it's like, when you've built relationships with farmers, it's easier to go and kind of say, hey, let's talk ideas, or you're really good at growing this. Do you grow enough that we could, jump in on that? Because there's also the scalability thing, and when it's going to come and how it has to be used and how fast and all of those things. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love those connections more than anything. I think those are just fantastic to see people working together to create products like that. And, it's awesome. Luke, what do you think about that?
I take a little bit of offense to the fact that you love those connections more than anything. I mean, come on. I'm right here, dude. No, yeah, I think that there are stories like this that kind of percolate through all over Wisconsin and the upper Midwest. And I think that Stephen's point, I mean, it's convenient. It's convenient, if nothing else, that all of you big, bright, beautiful minds have kind of found that place and found yourselves in that place to convene and do your work together. I have a superficial question though. Tony, what's up with the big hat? Like, is there a story behind the big hat? Because I would imagine there has to be a little bit of something behind it. It inspired me to put on a hat. I was that moved.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always felt it's the best way to keep the sun off. I don't know. It's really been, and yeah, I think the hat you saw, yeah, that's my third hat in all my farming career in 21 years. So they get a nice patina on them. The rain, I like a felted wool. The rain makes it tighten up. I can tilt it to keep the rain off, and a good 4 inches keeps the sun off my face and my neck. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about a good hat, right?
Yeah, I love a good hat. Lane, Mindy, do you have any good hats or stuff? I brought up the black apron in the kitchen. Do you have any bespoke things that you insist on wearing when you're shrubbing?
Well, now I want a hat.
Oh my gosh.
I think we always need towels around because it gets pretty sticky in our world.
And I usually wrap a headscarf around my head. That's because I'm not much of a baseball cap kind of gal. So I just wrap a headscarf, and that's what I use for my kitchen hair protection.
Yeah. Art, do you have an hat that you put on, or like, you know, when you sit in your
So
basement
the hat,
months out of the year?
yeah, I mean, this is rare for me to be hatless, to be honest with you. You know, I have multiple different hats. You know, mainly it's just the, you know, the beanie, like Tony. That's kind of what I live in. You know, you know, I sit right in the spot and edit. You know, we're still, you know, truthfully, we still have about 7 shows to edit, you know, for Wisconsin Foodie. So it's, you know, it's a grind right now. We're in the weeds. We're actually a really cool episode that we're working on right now that we're just finishing up is that PBS asked us this year to do a pledge drive special. So typically in March, what happens is we go off the air for the PBS pledge drive because we're actually an independent television show. So PBS pledges their shows that they create in house. But this year they asked us if we could create an hour-long special, and we were super excited to be a part of it. I mean, we just love to be involved. We love to support PBS, and to create an hour-long episode is kind of a dream because, you know, truthfully, these episodes could all be an hour, and that's the hardest part about all of this is to get them down to the 26 minutes that we need to get them down to. And actually, the content of the show is around 20 minutes because we have underwriters, we have all of the things that go around the show, the intro, the credits, the bloopers, that stuff. So we got 21 minutes of content to play with, which is, you know, spending 3 days or 2 days with all of you to get that down to 20 minutes is not an easy task. But the hour-long special we did this year is a really, really fun concept, and we all had a lot of fun doing it, where we picked 3 kind of up-and-coming chefs from Wisconsin. And we go to the Dane County Farmers Market. We give them $60, 60 minutes to shop the farmers market, and then head on over across the street to the L'Etoile Quick Kitchen with Chef Tori Miller, and then they get 1 hour to cook a dish that's inspired by the market. So that was so much fun. It's kind of took us a little bit outside of our comfort zone as far as, you know, how we produce shows, because usually it's more of like a real organic documentary style. But it had to be a little bit more structured. And I think we ran into a lot of, you know, challenges trying to do this kind of like, you know, reality show, competition reality show, when we're more of just a natural free flowing show. But Luke does a really good job hosting. He's like a pro host, you know, like he's going to be, you know, he did a great job there. But it was just fun to see these other chefs and their styles, because we have, you know, the chefs that we selected were Gregory Leone from Amalinda here in Milwaukee. Then we have Lauren Montalbano from the Vibrant Veg. So she's vegan chef. And then we have Tariq Moody, who is a radio DJ here in Milwaukee that's just really interested in food, and he's always cooking for himself, and he's doing these sake tastings. And I thought, like, let's throw him out in this and see what he can do. And I think, you know, I think people are going to be surprised with who wins the competition. But it's a fantastic shoot. So that's what we're finishing up right now, and it's been really exciting. But yep. So essentially, it's me sitting here putting these shows together with another editor, Nelson, who hopefully we'll have on one of these shows coming up, because he's part of the show as well. But I'm making him work, so he's still working right now on the next episodes.
Do you remember, Luke, that there was a little Miss Nelson, I don't know, goes to school book next to you in my living room, and when Nelson was shooting this, you brought up the book. So we love Nelson.
And then we went to
footage of that somewhere too.
Yeah.
And we were in Nelsonville, right? That's right. Arthur, so you're like, this is year 14 of Wisconsin Foodie, is that right?
Yeah, yep. So it started in 2008, and it started as just like an idea on a napkin, just like all good ideas start. It was like, you know, I was in between jobs, and I was like, we've got to do, like, you know, I'm a filmmaker, that's my background, and love food, just love food. So I felt like, you know, there's a real niche for local television that talked about local food, and it, you know, just taking a chance on an idea and a concept, and it's been 14 years, and it's just been a fantastic, fulfilling 14 years of doing this. It seems like it was yesterday, honestly. 14 years is just like mind blowing. That, but it's just a testament to all the amazing stories we have here in Wisconsin, the amazing people that we've seen grow, and I think the people that we've inspired with our show. Those are my favorite stories, when I run into somebody and they ditch their corporate job to do something like make a shrub, or grow basil, I mean, yeah, in Luke's case, I mean, Luke was, working hardcore in the kitchen and, every day, right, in the back of the kitchen. And now you're really a lot more focused on making TV and telling these stories. And you're still back there, occasionally. I don't know if we talk about that. I don't know how much. Let's not talk about kitchen.
I will
But,
say, I think it's appropriate to say that I have a fantastic staff.
Yeah.
At the cafe, who literally give everything they have and more to compensate, number one, for the fact that I'm their boss, but number two, because they've allowed me to take this journey. It was a journey that I feel like I was kind of born to take. I say all the time that I have the best job in the state of Wisconsin. I get to travel and meet really amazing people who are doing amazing things. And, I work with an amazing crew that just comes through and captures the story as the people want to put it out there. So you can come into the cafe and I may be there. I'm not going to say. Certain nights are more likely than others. But I have to say also that Tony Whitefeather, that experience of cooking on your farm inspired me through the course of the year. And this summer, we're going to launch our own little dining club in my backyard, because I thought, how cool is this? Tony's got a place right here. He's done. He cleans it up at the end of the night and he goes to bed, because I know that's what you do, Tony.
Yeah.
It's just you work and make this beautiful food on the farm and then you go to sleep. So we're going to launch that this summer too. And I think that we'll have to have a little bit of a Stevens Point party right down here in our valley, our little neck of the woods. So I would love to have all of you down and we can recreate the magic of this episode in the middle of the Driftless. And maybe Adam will show up for this party. I'm not sure.
Nice.
No promise.
He was texting me. He texted me a few times during the show.
Did he?
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good. I ran into him last week. I was like, hey, this looks like trouble.
Right.
Is
Luke,
Dan
what's
still
happening at the
on? Is Dan?
Dan was here.
We love
Dan
Dan,
was-
too, so.
Dan was on the Zoom call. He with Weaver. Was Weaver on the shoot? I can't remember. Did Weaver come on that shoot with
Yeah.
us?
Did we?
He was.
He did.
Yeah, that's right. I do remember. So we've allowed Dan to bring his dog Weaver to the majority of these shoots, and he's just the best dog ever. Super well trained and well behaved, and just a fantastic dog. So it's funny because a lot of the footage we put, I'll put footage of Weaver in shots because he's pretty photogenic. But people that are watching must be like, wow, this dog is because it just looks like it's like a farm dog, So it's like, this dog is at every farm, which is hilarious to me. But like the footage that like Nelson always makes it. Like Nelson, I think, is in the majority of episodes. We try to put Nelson in just about a cameo of Nelson in just about every episode, and so we like to do fun little things like that. And Dan was on the Zoom call. Yeah, there he is. He's commenting on Facebook. He just decided not, next week we'll get him to join us next week.
How about
Again,
his clapping? And I don't remember.
Oh yeah.
He got in front of the camera and just slapped himself for the.
Yeah.
the
So I'm gonna just tell people what that is, because they probably have no clue what he's doing if they watch that and they're like, why is he slapping himself? But typically when we have multiple cameras going, we typically do a clap, right? So we make a clap in the middle, so all the cameras are watching the clap, so we have the sound of the clap and we can match that sound with the hands. So when we have three cameras, we have that spike in the audio and the visual of a hand clapping, so we can sync all of the cameras up, so all the cameras will be synced together, and it makes it easier to edit. But Dan is very unconventional with his claps. He's gone rogue on me, and he likes to claps different things. Sometimes Luke's butt, sometimes his chest, his face. It's all over the place. Sometimes he'll just come up and smack you in the face, and that's the clap. So, but I thought that was hilarious. I'm glad that.
That was great.
Yeah. So, so we got a couple minutes left here. Before everybody goes, the poor people in Milwaukee still haven't watched the show. Hopefully they go over to YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel. You can go to YouTube, check us out there. I usually drop all the episodes at 7 o'clock, so half an hour before they drop anywhere else, which is fun for everybody. How about you guys? What's a good way to reach out and to connect with Siren Shrubs? If anybody that's watching this, how do you want them to reach out to you?
Yeah, so they can go visit our website, which is sirenshrubs.com. Otherwise, we're on Instagram and Facebook as far as our social channels. And we'd love to hear from you. We hope you try Shrub.
Yeah, it's great. Tony, what's the best way people can get a hold of you?
Very similar, our website and our social media, Instagram and Facebook. No problem.
We haven't talked yet. We're not TikTokers. Are you guys TikTokers?
We have a TikTok account. I think it's just trying to get that humming. Like I've had to watch TikTok. Like I've been watching TikTok for the last year to prepare ourselves for that, and then I really just want to see if that I want to see if that stays, but yeah, sometimes I get lost in TikTok, man. Like I'll just be like an hour later and I'll be,
I know.
what just, what did I watch? And then I try to figure out how do we fit into this, and I've got some good ideas. I think we, this year when we start shooting again, we're gonna do some stuff. Look at that, Scout makes a cameo.
Yeah.
Luke, do you have people come into the cafe on Thursday nights for the show, or what are you guys doing at the Driftless?
Yeah. So this time of year, we do a burger night at the cafe on Thursday nights, and it's part of our community supported table series, where every burger you buy, $2 of that burger goes directly to a nonprofit that we choose as a staff for the entire season. So this year we're doing the Kickapoo Valley Forest School, which is an extension of Lafarge Public Schools, really small public school system. Actually, I am an alumni of LHS, class 1998. Population 23 kids, 17 of which I went to kindergarten with all the way through. So through the work of people at the Kickapoo Valley Reserve and Lafarge Public Schools, this outdoor forest classroom is a way to, number one, get kids outside of conventional school walls, but number two, it helps create a legacy of conservation and sustainability that goes forward. So right now, burger night's going on, which is great, and my freshman basketball team game was canceled due to COVID. So the JV and the varsity played, but I opted out of this because I wanted to see all these beautiful people tonight and just basically share my gratitude for allowing us into your lives. Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Side note, Luke coaches basketball. And he's not hosting or running the Driftless Cafe with his lovely wife, Ruthie. Is Ruthie there tonight? I mean, maybe we could get Ruthie on one of these as well. No. Okay. Before we cut out of here, I just want to shout out all of our supporters, the people that make this all possible. Some of those folks that have been with us basically for 14 years. Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin. We have the best sponsors, right? Nuclearis Brewing, Organic Valley, Conscious Carnivore. These are like the best of the best. J. Henry Bourbon. Like, it just doesn't get better. It's so nice to have people that you want to support, people that you care about, people that you believe in, also believe in you. And like, I just love this community. I love the fact that we don't have to take money from, somebody that we don't believe in. So everybody that supports us, we wholeheartedly believe in them. And we tell everybody that they need to go out there and support them. So Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin, Organic Valley, Nuclearis Brewing, Conscious Carnivore, Something Special from Wisconsin, really fantastic program. Central Wisconsin Craft Collective, which has, been a big reason that we've been in that area. They've really inspired us to come out and check it out. And we love every second of it. I'm getting there, boo. I'm getting there. I'm getting them. PBS, the Friends of PBS Wisconsin, Crossroads Collective, a really cool food hall in Milwaukee, Viroqua Food Co-op, J. Henry Bourbon, and Rutabaga Paddle Sports. Yep. Awesome, guys. Well, hey, it's 9 o'clock. I appreciate it. We could probably be on here for another hour. I assume though, after this next hour, it's just going to spiral into inappropriateness. So thank you so much, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed the show. I hope everybody checks out Siren Shrubs. Everybody checks out Whitefeather Organics. And, you know, the one we didn't talk about is Stevens Point Area Co-op. Really the connector of everybody, right? I mean, like I love co-ops. Co-ops for me and Luke, I know they're huge inspirations for us. If we're in a town, if we're traveling through a town, we find a co-op, we go in there and we look at all the products, and that's kind of how we figure out good stories in different like smaller towns and areas. So Stevens Point Area Co-op is worth the drive all the way to Stevens Point, because you're going to find so many great amazing products, and the people there are so cool. Even the I forget her name now, but the woman on the show, she was fantastic, and she worked for Tony, right? She works for you, Tony.
Yeah. Yep. Taylor.
Yeah. That's awesome. She was like, I come to the farm, I pack up the greens, and then I come to the co-op and I unload the greens and I put them on the shelf. It's like, what? I love that. So it's so cool. And you know, those are my favorite stories. So you guys are doing such cool things in that area. Can't wait to come back up and visit all of you and get together on the farm, maybe without cameras this time, and just hang out, eat pizza, and have a beer, or a shrub instead of a beer. All right, guys. Well, it's 9 o'clock. I'm gonna let
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
Take care.
we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.